Germany with world-class sound designer Kurt Ader, who kindly allows us to be in his studio today. Kurt, what inspired you to become a sound designer?
When I started with 14 with organ, to play organ, and I dream every time from new sounds, but it was very boring for me, only an organ sound to have it, and then my first contact was in a music shop, Minimoog, and my father's buy it for me, and I make experiments with sound, and this I started in 1977.
Wonderful. So your first interaction with a synthesizer was with a Minimoog, specifically?
Yeah.
So
one of the classic.
Yeah, of the classic. Yeah. At what point you felt like, sound designer is going to be my passion, is going to be my life?
At first I was in a band, from what you see on the picture here, and we make some synth pop, all three keyboarders and one singer. It plays keyboards and sings also. And we make like music like Duran Duran, Depeche Mode, and things like this. And it was also going in the charts in Germany, but the record company tells us a lot of stories. You need this and make it different like the old one and blah blah blah. And I say I quit this and make sound design. This was my approach for doing some sounds, and also other bands and peoples hired me at this time with analog synths. You only have analog synths at this time. Please make me sound like Genesis Mama, the Pet sound, or things like this. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like a sample,
So it has been quite a journey for you. Like your career is quite amazing. You have program kind of like your big breakthrough was with Roland with the Jupiter 8.
Right.
So that was
it starts in 1980.
Yes.
With Hans-Gerd Pflugberger. He was a manager in Roland, Germany, in Norderstedt, and he see me in the music shop with synthesizers working, and he tells me, we need a programmer and planning a new product and blah blah. And I was in Norderstedt by a meeting, and I see it first time 1 year before they come out, 1980 Jupiter 8, and make a factory set for the European region.
Okay. Yeah. Which conceptually was different, right? Like in terms of the quality of the sounds that you were creating, it was a different, like the global market. But then your career has such an amazing stretch that mostly of us musicians, performers, composers, we owe you so much because you have done so many amazing sounds for core, for sequential, for EMU. Can you tell us about that story?
Yeah, after Roland, I went to Waldorf. Waldorf, I made for every product from Waldorf, and I start with the microwave, doing some factory sounds, and after this Blofeld and Cura, Quantum, everything from Waldorf, most instruments from Waldorf, and also sequential. Sequential was a highlight for me to visit Dave Smith in US, and I like when their synthesizers are digital and you can put samples inside, and emulator and Fairlight was too expensive for me, and I have a Prophet 2000. I start with the Prophet 2000, and Dave hears some sounds of me, and I start make some sounds for the Prophet 2000, 2002 Plus, and Studio 440, and make some factory discs for it, and the Prophet VS, and then a little bit for the Prophet 3000, and then there was Bankrupt. Yeah.
Beautiful.
High pass filter. And the R&D guys are going to Cork. At first going to Yamaha, and then was going to Cork, right? And after this, I went to Emu Systems with Kevin Monahan. Kevin Monahan, yeah,
world-class sound designer.
World-class sound designer. I learned a lot from him, yeah, absolutely. And I made some sounds at the beginning for the Emax, Emax 2, and Emulator 3, Emulator 4. I still have the 2 classics. Emulator 4. And then with David Bristow, I created Plus expansion for the vintage keys. I made the samples, and together with David Bristow, we make the factory voicing for the expansion. Yeah, okay. There are some samples from the Taurus one, what you see in my studio, and also a lot of Melbourne stuff, and Pro Soloist and things like this. I don't remember everything.
Yes.
RMI piano. Also,
yes, that's classic. Classic. But just curious about Emu System and the emulator 4. Did you create a lot of patches using the Z-plane filters and that type of different type of filtering that they create? More fuse while they were more fuse.
This was fantastic. It was create a fantastic filter, you know, with morphing elements in it's absolutely stunning.
It was quite unique. I remember a conversation for us, one of our meetings at the Sound Synthesis Club, in which they referred that the Z planes they were so unique, and they could become so unpredictable that they have to kind of like tame the design because they were afraid of a lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
This could, you're having a system that goes into a chaotic state. Once that it gets to that point, you won't be able to control it that easily. But you were able to create unique, amazing timbres. And that's the reason why I'm asking, because Ben Amassian was one of the designers of this type of filter and one of the fathers of the sound synthesis. So you also have here the SP12.
Oh yeah, SP1200.
SP1200.
It's one of the first ones. Yeah. Absolutely great machine. I made a lot of sounds for the machine for myself, and but also for EMU. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kurt, one of the things that we love, that I guess that we have been like gave you a large exposure, was these orchestral collections that you have done. They are marvelous, and even we have been fascinated by the fact that in the Kronos versions, like they are simple programs, like simple units, and yet they sound like combi. So could you please tell us about that process and that concept, which is amazing and mind blowing?
Yeah, thank you. It's different from all other, my programs are sounding like a combination, you know. And yeah, it's my trick, but when you look inside you can see what I do, you know. But I don't like too much combis, but you reduce the polyphony, you know. And yeah, but my trick is to make long samples, very long samples, and each key, sometimes from realistic instruments, each note, sample it. And also I have what we speak before, denoise system on my Mac, where I can reduce the bow noise from the violins to 80%, reducing, and this sounds totally different than all others. Yeah, but for programming, you listen. This is it's different than the others.
Yes.
Right. These two MKS 80, I resample it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's unison with 32 oscillators, and it's fantastic. Some soul stuff.
You know, one thing that we admire musicians, and when we step in the art of creating our own sounds, so say, how can we learn from, and you know, I have been like doing the exercise like many other musicians of, they say, okay, let me try to analyze sounds from Eric Percy, from John Lemon, from Jack Holder, from Kurt Ader, and let me try to learn from them. And just going the side story, I remember that one day I took one of your sounds and I say, let me analyze these sounds with the core OSs, and let me recreate these sounds. So I went to the exercise of listening your sound and asking myself, how would I replicate this type of sound that Kurt created like this? So I went through the process of thinking, designing a strategy, implementing the strategy, and I got pretty close. You know, I got fairly close to your sound, but here comes the amazing part. When I look at your sound, you did it in a totally different way. So, which means that, you know, it's an art. You can do things in multiple ways, and it is amazing to see like the maturity, you know, at the sound designer level as an artist, that you can choose so many paths to do just one thing and get the most amazing results, right? Like because perhaps depending in the path that you use, then you use resource in a different way, and that is personal for every artist. So, so one of the things that is really striking and fascinating for you as a sound designer is that you have your voice. You know, when we hear, oh, Kurt Ader sounds, yes, these are the type of sound that I expect from Kurt Ader, you know, like, this is the level where Kurt Ader is. So what kind of advice for the new generations of sound designers that they are starting in plugins from hardware synthesizers, what would you recommend for them to go through that process so they, one day, they are able to find their voices as you do now?
Yeah,
So.
look into your synthesizer and program everything what you can do, and find your own way what is the best for you. For example, when I show you the orchestral stuff with the orchestral tuning, what I tell you, it's the sample is over 1.5 minutes with orchestral tuning, but the tuning, when I recorded the orchestral stuff, and the recorder are on record, and they make the tuning at first. I never use it. Now I use it, and I say, oh, when they make tuning, it's on A, you know, and I make the tuning copy on each key from A on the keyboard 5 times, and then put dark piano on it, and just a little pad, but when you play it and then hold it, then you hear the tuning, you know, and it's what I showed you before.
Okay, well exposed by the technique. Fantastic, Luke. This is fantastic.
Well,
Berlin style.
Yes. Beautiful. You have an amazing studio that we're going to cover in our tour. Some synthesis mechanism there. So
From all decades.
from all decades, yeah. So it's not only that you can do FM from a particular period of time. I mean, you can do it from a specific period of time, so different generations.
Yes.
So that is fascinating. How would you approach the sound designer from that perspective? You know, when you have all the choices, right? Like when you can say, okay, I wanted to sample this, and it's going to be like the highest resolution, or it could be a medium resolution, or it could be a low resolution for this.
Yeah, this is totally different. When also what I create sometimes is to stack more synthesizers together, you know, 3 or 4 different things together, like physical modeling and wavetables and analog synth together, and then put it in the modular with 3 or 4 filters and things like this, you know, and make some new things. Yeah. But at the beginning, it's only in my head, you know, and. I translate it to my collection, you know, and
do you spend time? I can imagine that. Do you spend time only with the world of quantum, and then you go with the core chronos, and then you figure out, now I have these unique sounds with the quantum, and now I have it with the chronos, and now I'm going to combine them, which is going to be a new combination as well.
Sometimes yes, but sometimes also I just used on the quantum 1 oscillator, you know, and from maybe the polypod 2 oscillators, and from the Moog 1 all 3 oscillators, and then put it also prophecy together, and then going to the filter bank from Pop Moog and.
Oh, that's fantastic. So basically,
and also mix from natural instruments and synthetic instruments.
Fantastic. So and that sounds like a modular synthesizer, like a modern modular synthesizer, right? Like using analog and digital in multiple roles, and that creates that richness of the sound, right? So I think that we're in a time in which it's ideal, it's a dream for us for creating new sounds with all these technologies. you have an amazing, beautiful collection of synthesizers from different periods. Is there a synthesizer that you say, oh, this is my go-to synthesizer. This is the synthesizers that I go first. Or do you have any favorite in this type of?
I have a lot of favorites. All what you see are favorites.
Oh, exactly.
But still, my number one is Kurt Ader.
The Kurt Ader.
Yes.
I love the fact that you have the multiple engines that you can combine. And that really have the physical modeling and especially when you can use physical modeling plus sampling as well.
Right.
Creates
as modulator, with sampling also the FM engine with together with physical modeling.
Another aspect of your amazing career is being part of these amazing supergroups. So with Johannes Schmerling, Robert Waters, it's really. Please tell us about that beautiful project.
First time I see Johannes at the Synthfest 6 years ago. I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. At the Synthfest in France, and he meet me when I make a demonstration with the Connors, and after this we are speaking after my demonstration, and he tell me, oh, I was a member from Tangerine Dream. I say, oh, Tangerine Dream, great, I love the music and blah blah blah, and after my demo he buy 2 Connors. One in France directly and one in Germany later on, and he hired me after this for doing a new solo album, for doing sounds, and to say, oh, I don't like the factory sounds, I like what I hear from you here at the Synthfest, I like these sounds, blah blah, and I make him all my sounds inside this what he wants, and this was the first thing what we do together, and then he make a solo album, and after this he tells, oh, we have the same feeling for sounds, and everything what you make is he likes very much, and maybe let's do together a band, like the original Tangerine Dream at this time when he was a member. And then we have a meeting in Berlin with Robert. Robert lives in Berlin, and he's also playing with him together with Loom, with Jerome Fröser, but now we like to move for some new things like the old Tangerine Dream period, who was Johannes invited, and this was the start for Saw. And then we went to France to Olivier Kral. He has also much bigger collection than me, much bigger, over 400 synths, and then we assemble a lot from his stuff, and this also what the legendary Blue, my PPG library, I made it by him, and we sample a lot, and playing some exotic instruments like the RME synthesizer and PS 3000 and Matrix 12, Waldorf Wave and Moog Modular, RSF, Cobol, and a lot of things.
Yes, fantastic.
And after this, We are by Johannes and working on the new album, and I put all the samples in the machines, and we are composing the new tracks for the iconic. That was the start. Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, what was in the time that you met with Johannes? That was the time of they were referring to the White Eagle. Is that was the period? That was like the period with Johannes. So beautiful. By the way, I have to share with you like. We're extremely lucky at the Sound Synthesis Club because we have you, Kurt Ader, we have Johannes Schmerling, we have Michael Hennig from the Tangerine Drink as well, and Paul Haslinger. So it's really fantastic that we have a family of the Tangerine Drink, and what is so solid and beautiful tradition that you have. It's really beautiful what you have done in the tradition of electronic music. It's really a strong culture that you have developed here, and the style and the levels of mastery that you have reached with the instruments is by itself a school, like the German School of Electronic Music. Really is. Thank you so much, Kurt. Let's talk about the studio right now, and we are extremely happy to have you here. And we will come back, to revisit you and the studio and the art and all the wonderful things that you are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.